giving you a little bit of an idea of about how old this place is. Everybody always asks about the overhead passing up here. I will just throw that in. We own this entire canyon here, right around 10 feet on either side at the top and about 10 feet beyond the hitching post here. Beyond that 10 feet, the Wilderness Resort actually owns. And they promised they wouldn't build anywhere we could see them. They went against that promise, built everywhere we could see. We just tell people if you see that up there, it's part of your imagination, and you're on the same page that we are. It just leads from one part of the hotel there to the other. If you come down here at the right time during the day, you will actually see Peter Pan fly across there on a zip line. We don't do winter rides down here. Basically, due to all of the ice that builds up, we normally get right around 3 to 5 feet of ice down here. So these boys will typically work 6 months out of the year, 6 months vacation. Talk about a union contract. In order for us to even give these union boys 6 months of work, though, a lot of times we have to come down here and chip away quite a bit of ice. We didn't have to do that last year. We lucked out, it all melted on its own. We opened up in time for all of the college spring breaks. This year we weren't quite so lucky, though. Me and a few drivers had to come down here and chip away a lot of the ice with some pickaxes. We used to actually allow people to cross-country ski, snowmobile, and stuff like that down here. We don't allow that anymore due to all the partying that went on. A lot of people left trash, broke bottles, parked things into the rock, stuff like that. Personally, I have been down here before in the wintertime. Very beautiful place, and sometimes you'll actually see icicles as big around as a semi-truck from the top straight to the bottom. Dick on the far side, Dan closest to us, Dick and Dan, Black Perch.
Is this the right way? I'm lost.
I'm not sure, sir.
Don't call me sir, I work for a living.
Does anybody have any room in the trunk for him? Hopefully it's parked right in the sun. Bill. Alright guys, we're going to attempt the right side up here.
Czego ściągnąłeś wszystko? Spadło?
Bring it around, boys. Hip.
Oh my god.
This big tall tree coming right out of the rock up here on the left is actually the tallest tree in our canyon. It stands right around 120 feet tall. It is an eastern white pine. It is set on the eastern white pine, the root system. Can actually be as long as the tree is tall. The second reason why I pointed out where it grows right out of the rock like that. That rock there is called Cambrian sandstone. It's basically made up of compressed sand and right around 30% of water. On a real hot summer day, the water in that rock will act as a natural air conditioning, usually keeping it 15 to 20 degrees cooler down here just due to the moisture there in that rock. A lot of people wonder how that tree could be held in there so good. If you can picture 120 feet of roots spiderwebbing through each of those layers of rock there, you can see how it would be held in there decently. Also, as a whole, the rock itself can be very strong, but you can actually break pieces off and crumple it right there in your hand. The last reason why I point that tree out, the eastern white pine, one of the tallest and straightest trees. They use that for the mast on a sailboat. They can live to be 400 to 500 years old. They only grow right around 1 foot per year, and if you look over your shoulder, you might be able to see the top of that tree there. On a real windy day, that tree will just sway right with the wind. The next type of tree I like to point out is the eastern hemlock here. This type right above the horses. They typically grow on the right side over here. You won't see very many of them over here along the left. Right around 3 of them over here. They were very small, very scarce on the left side. One of the reasons why they are so small and scarce on the left side versus the right side, they are a very slow-growing tree in general. They can live to be 800 to 900 years old. If you were to actually cut one of those trees in half, count the rings to see about how old they were, you would need a magnifying glass. The rings are so tightly squeezed together. The second reason and the main reason they're small and scarce on the left side versus the right side, the left side over here gets all of the sunlight. They don't like that sunlight a whole lot. They like darker, damper, and cooler climates, so they'll typically grow on this side. Versus the eastern white pine, rather the opposite type of tree, they'll typically grow on this side. The Latin name for the eastern hemlock, the Tsuga canadensis. Their ancestors came from Canada, and their seeds were carried all the way down through the area here by the glacial meltwater. We call this our stairway to heaven or the stairway to the promised land. Folks, last year I did take my girlfriend up there, but all she made me was promises. Bear with the cheesy jokes, guys. You're going to get the same humor on the duck ride. I like to think my jokes are a little better than the duck ride jokes. In fact, you guys are more than welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. Just keep in mind, though, guys, we don't call it Lost Canyon for no reason. Usually it's for the people who don't laugh at my jokes. So if you guys are laughing today, you guys are safe. As for the rest of you, I can't promise anything. At this point, I'm going to talk a little bit about the boys up front doing all the work today. They do a lot of work down here, so I feel they should be recognized. Bill on the left, Barney on the right. Bill and Barney, a 5-year-old team of the Blue Roan Percherons. They weigh in at anywhere between 1,800 and 2,300 pounds each. They will eat right around 75 pounds of hay per day, about 10 to 20 pounds of grain per day. They drink roughly 15 to 20 gallons of water per day. They won't get a whole lot down here to eat during the day, just some carrots and apples and such that the drivers will give them throughout the day. A little bit of green here and there to boost their energy levels a little bit. They will catch up on all their eating up top, though. But in the meantime, before they go home for evening feed, their favorite is small children. Their favorite color is purple. A little lady, you see me after the tour for their disappearing act, okay? Draft horses this size typically live to be right around 25 to 30 years old. Right around 20 years of age, they do have a retirement plan with us, unlike the driver here. By retirement plan, I don't mean we get rid of them. The owner feels that these boys have done plenty of work, made her plenty of money. She feels she owes them a place to stay. They do have shoes on all 4 of their feet, all the way around. Typically, their shoes will last them anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how hard the horse is on his shoes. A little weather and water could throw a bit of a twist in there as well. If you guys are wondering, these boys have a hard time pulling a wagon full of people like this. This is actually very easy work for these 2 boys. As a team, draft horses this size are actually capable of pulling nearly 10 tons on wheels. That is about half of a semi-trailer loaded down. I did mention from 27 to 56, this was the walking tour. The only actual evidence that we have of that anymore, there are a few notches up here in the narrows that I'll point out. Due to flooding, nobody wanted to walk through here without the walking bridge. There's also a few rounded out areas in the narrows, and I'll point those out as well. Those are from whirlpools that occurred when the glacial meltwater carved out our canyon. It's said that there was some sand in that water acting as a sandpaper to help carve out that rock. I firmly agree with that, though, because the rock is made up of compressed sand. Bill, Barney. Notches from the walking bridge will be all along the right side over here, waist high. Rounded out areas above my head from the whirlpools. You see how they swirl around up there, push their way back out underneath here. Those will go all the way through here. Also, that first room we entered into when we entered the canyon, the council chambers, that was carved out by a whirlpool as well. We have been offered quite a bit of money for our canyon here by the village of Lake Dalton. The village actually wants to use this place for storm runoff. It would basically be their cheap and easy way to get rid of all of the runoff in the area here, to run it right into the lake across the street there. We don't want to sell it to them, though. We feel it is too beautiful of a place. We want everyone to have the chance to see it. Back in the early 90s, the village of Lake Dalton wanted our canyon so bad, they actually tried to get us for polluting the lake. When this would fill up with a little bit of extra rainwater, it would carry some of the horse droppings into the lake across the street there. So they did try and get us for polluting the lake, so now we have to put the black bags on the back of the horses there. That's also why we can't even use female horses down here. The diapers only work one way. If you look up here in the cave on the right, you might see the rock formation of a bear cub walking out of the cave there. Should see all four of his legs, the body, the head, the neck, and the face if you have a really good imagination. Takes up the whole center of the cave there. Everybody get that one?
Yep.
Right here below the ledge with the ferns or the plants, you drop down, you have a shark. Shark's right here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Sharks?
Don't worry, guys, he is a vegetarian, okay?
Yep.
Bill. Straight ahead up above the narrows on the right, that very tan-colored rock is an alligator on his nose, a hippo, a tornado, or an ice cream cone, Rocky Road flavor. Yes, I am always this funny, guys. Personally, I see the alligator on his nose the best there, and on the left side, the big sliver, more of a tornado.
How much they poop?
It is going to get a little low on the right side, guys. I call this Lover's Corner. On the back wall over here, where the chief would stand, you might see the bottom of Africa, the bottom of Texas, or the head of a Texas longhorn there. Keep your hands and everything inside. It's very narrow here. Right across over by the lake there, we have a beautiful park and beach area for you guys. You are welcome to relax, lounge around, kick back, cook out, check out the lake, whatever. You guys are all welcome to that area as long as you're in town. On the deck up there, the wishbone tree. All donations go to the Sauk County Humane Society. Last year we raised them $2,000. I will pull up next to the deck up there, and you guys can hop on down on the right side. Be careful getting off, though, guys. There's no parking brake on the Mustang here. Also, after I loop around and park, you're more than welcome to come back, check out my team, take a few pictures if you'd like. Just don't walk up in front of them, though, until after I'm looped around and parked at one of the hitching posts here. I don't want you guys up front getting that rundown feeling or that fatal disease of hoof and mouth. That is it for the bad jokes until you guys hit the duck ride. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys all enjoyed my tour here this afternoon.
A tu konie uciekły.
What's that?
Ah!
The horses.
Run away. Tam ci chłopcy byli, tam widziałeś?
Can you take us to Dells? Can you take us to Wisconsin Dells?
I wish, man.